Just checking into my right ankle. You know how I sprained it back in December. Sometimes it would just like kind of act up. I feel it's all better, but then it's kind of can be quirky
Like
on and
quirky
off.
in that it swells, or it's like hard,
Like
like it doesn't always like,
hard and almost like it's not even I can't even say it's painful. It's just uncomfortable.
yeah. I would treat your shin and your calf, especially the outer part of the calf. Like if you went down the back of the leg and drew it like a line down the back of your calf, the outer part of the calf, that whole side. Eventually, you'll come back around and need to treat the opposite side. But with a rolled ankle, you really kind of strain there's these muscles that run along the side of the leg called the peroneus. Like there's just these long, thin muscles. And then the anterior tibialis, which is that big muscle that runs along your shin, and then the
Uh-huh.
lateral part of the calf. And even though the area has gotten better, um, it's like you have a strain in that area that, it's 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 better, but it's still there. It's like still in the connective tissue. So,
Gotcha.
you could probably even just like marjoram might work on that area, like several nights in a row. Um, or you could use something like spikenard or vetiver or myrrh on the whole leg, because the thing that can happen as you roll the ankle, you have one side that got elongated and then the other side starts to contract, like the inner part of your calf,
Uh-huh.
on the other side, it kind of contracts. And so applying that on both sides begins to balance out the two sides and the muscle imbalances while still relaxing the muscle. So marjoram, like spikenard, myrrh, something like that, in an ointment. I would do it in an ointment.
Okay.
You could throw a little helichrysum on it from time to time, but it's probably going to be more about the marjoram and the spikenard or the myrrh.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah,
Now that makes sense why
yeah,
my legs started cramping along the
yeah,
shins on the
yeah, yeah,
outside.
yeah, yeah,
What is this? Yeah,
yeah.
okay. It's all related.
It's yeah,
Yeah.
like um, a lot of times, like if somebody rolls their ankle, if you can treat it really quickly on the shin, you'll undo a lot of the pain like immediate. But like after a couple of minutes, eh, then you're into the injury. You know what I mean? Like if you get to it right
Uh-huh.
in the moment, like you can unwind it before it really starts doing what it does. It's kind of like a burn. Like if you treat a burn immediately, you're good. But if you treat it 2 minutes later, it's already blistered. The
Uh-huh.
rolling the ankle can be that way. And so, that anterior tibialis, that big muscle that kind of runs along the shin, if you treat that a bunch, a lot of times that will resolve a lot of it, but it's still a little bit in the peroneus and that lateral or outer part of the calf muscle.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Eric.
And even like when you're applying some of that stuff, rub some of it on the Achilles tendon a little bit. You know how like the tendon's there, like rub it on and then rub like each side and kind of push on it a little bit. Hold it for about 10 seconds, like with your thumb. Like if this is the tendon, go and just like kind of push on it for about 10 seconds and then let it up. And it will take some of the tension out of the calf. Because if you get real sensitive with palpation, you can actually palpate the tendon and you can feel like the different areas that it goes up and starts spasming up in the calf. Like it will come down into that tendon. And so you can kind of almost like tell, like, oh, I need to go over here. This side's a little weaker. This side's a little like thicker and has more scar tissue in it. And so you can kind of follow it up into the lower leg. Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
Thank you so
You're
much.
so welcome.